instill fear in the politicians, then there will be no campaigns. So allow some latitude to politicians. Let them use words as long as those words are not insolent and those words are not inciting to the members of the public. And then I talked about the institutions. Look at us, ask, when did the rain begin to beat us? The Nigerian writer, Chuna Achebe, said that if you want to know how much it has rained on you, you don't look at your clothes and see how wet you are. And he said that you begin to remember when the first drop fell on you, then you know how much it has rained on you. So you look at the institutions that we had at that time, put us in the problems. The Electoral Commission is one of them. Fortunately, we have been able to carry out reforms. We now have a new commission. This new commission has a responsibility and a major challenge to behave differently from the defunct one which they took over from. Secondly, the civil service must be professional. Civil servants must be people who serve the government of the day. They are not going to quit with this government. They will serve the government that will take over from here. So leave politics to politicians. Let civil servants not engage in politics. There are enough politicians who they don't need the hands of civil servants. Equally, the security forces must be neutral, completely. You have a situation where some police officers are registering as agents, polling agents for a political party. Something is seriously wrong. So we must have a police force that is professional. And that is why the reforms we are carrying out in the police are necessary. And they must be fast-tracked before we go to the elections. We need to have the Police Service Commission in place. Actually, we needed it yesterday. And I agree with the Speaker, the problem is not in Parliament. The problem is ours. We will sort it out and bring the list back to Parliament, a proper one that is agreed on. We, now, finally, we have a Kamkunji, as has been mentioned on Tuesday. And this Kamkunji, we want to agree on two very important legislation that we need to pass. On that day, after we have opened Parliament, the Speaker's Kamkunji, we will talk, and then we want to bring those bills to Parliament that same Tuesday. And His Excellency the President has agreed to be in Parliament to participate as a member for Thaya and voting to get those legislations passed. So, ladies and gentlemen, this country is a great country. We know where we've come from. We know where we are. And we also know where we want to go. The founding fathers of our nation coined the Kenyan dream in the national anthem which you've just sung. A great country. Unless until we get it right, in other words, we unite our people, the Kenya that the founding fathers wanted will not be midwifed. It's ready to come. It must be a Kenya for every Kenyan. A Kenyan where it doesn't matter whether you're an El Molo, the smallest tribe, or the biggest tribe. You are just a Kenyan. This generation has a very noble responsibility and opportunity to midwife that Kenya through implementing the new constitution, which was passed during the life of this parliament. Ensure that that constitution is implemented to the letter. Then we will be able to give birth to that new Kenya that our founding father wanted. A Kenya where God will be our leader, where we will be dwelling in unity, peace and liberty, and where plenty will be found within our borders. And you said you want to do this through Vision 2030. With those remarks, ladies and gentlemen, it's now my single pleasure to invite His Excellency, the President, to address you and to declare this forum officially open. Thank you very much.
Asante sana. Haya. Thank you. I am very grateful. Thank you. I am grateful to you because of the things we believe in. And I know we will succeed. We will. I don't want people who go on believing in funny thoughts. Believe in something which you can fulfill, and then you go ahead. I am pleased to preside over the coming of this forum on peaceful elections. In this gathering, we will deliberate on our individual and collective roles in ensuring that Kenya remains peaceful before, during, and after the forthcoming general election. In the light of past experience that has seen the eruption of violence during election cycle, the subject before us is immensely important. I therefore call upon us all to engage constructively and frankly in order to come up with practical commitments on how to break this cycle of violence and ensure peace. Ladies and gentlemen, as will be recalled after the events of the post-election violence, we undertook to implement a wide range of reforms. Among the measures we have taken is the creation of specialized commissions aimed at addressing the possible causes of violence. Among these commissions were the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission and the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. These commissions have helped to bring matters of national reconciliation and integration at the center of our national discourse. We also established the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, which is fully operational. The Commission should now put in place structures and systems that will ensure the conduct of free, fair, and peaceful general elections in a cost-effective manner. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to these commissions, Parliament has passed into law numerous bills designed to promote peace. These include the Elections Act and the Political Parties Act. Above all, we are fully integrating the Constitution promulgated in August 2010, which, amongst other things, aims at ensuring that our national peace, stability, and prosperity are guaranteed. Ladies and gentlemen, we should say this loudly and believe it. Because sometimes we seem like we don't believe. Do we not believe? If we do believe, now ladies and gentlemen, a moment. It is essential because, amongst other things, it aims at ensuring that our national peace, stability, and prosperity are guaranteed. To give effect to the new legal dispensation and entrench the rule of law, the judiciary is being reformed. As will be appreciated, an impartial, fair, and efficient judicial system is a key component for peace and stability in any country. I am pleased that the judiciary has begun putting in place mechanisms to deal with electoral offenses and disputes. Indeed, a fair and expeditious hearing in the event of an election dispute is a key pillar of any democratic process. This should be utilized in any such eventuality. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the elections, the government will provide security and promote peace building and conflict prevention initiatives through the country. In this regard, the government will hold various gatherings with leaders and wananchi across the country to mobilize national support for peaceful elections. As the government does its part, I urge political leaders and their supporters to play a leading role in facilitating the conduct of free, fair, peaceful elections. I urge you to preach peace and to conduct yourself in a manner that promotes unity in our country. In particular, I urge political leaders across the country to refrain from campaigning on the platform of ethnic and regional politics. Let us always remember Kenya is a unitary state. We must jealously guard against forces that will seek to divide us along clan, ethnic, or regional lines. Before I conclude my remarks, I wish to underscore the importance of the media in ensuring that we have peaceful elections. We all recognize that the media is the platform through which various candidates propagate their messages. I appeal to the media and other professionals to help frame an issue-oriented campaign where ideas are deliberated. Indeed, the media can define the level of hope or fear, risk and opportunity in our country. The media should be choosy in what they print or broadcast, because not every statement by political leaders or all their supporters is worth communicating to the wider audience. I have a few examples of screaming headlines that are too common in our media nowadays. For instance, battle for State House. Yep. That you'll be carrying out a battle for State House. Another example, politicians fight it out. Another one, war of words between candidates. Another one, rising tension ahead of elections. So many of these things, and they are all stated by us and written in our own media and propagated and preached as if one is telling just some genuine truth. It is not true. Because when you're saying that that rising tension ahead of elections, it is not true. What you have spoken here, everything shows truly you are heading for less tension, and you are heading for, you are not going towards greater tension. Definitely, even if you do try, you will try this time and you will not get as far as you got last time. Definitely, I'm telling you. Because the voter, the ordinary citizen, the ordinary person is much more aware than he was. And he's going to be much more different. You see, such headlines give a bad name to what may otherwise be a healthy political competition. This kind of reporting creates fear amongst our people, who start looking at elections as a period of hatred and despondency. Leaders must also stop using hate speech through the numerous vernacular and regional radio stations. We are aware of incidences where leaders and ordinary citizens use these local stations to stir up ethnic emotions. Others, owners of such media outlets must guard against attempts to arouse such emotions that plant the seed of hatred amongst the people. In this regard, Media Council of Kenya must accept responsibility and take steps and ensure that Kenyan media plays its role in ensuring that we engage in peaceful campaigns and elections. We also expect that professional bodies, the civil service, the civil society, and the religious leaders will be partners as we seek peaceful elections. In this regard, I thank the private sector for the initiatives taken under the Mount Kenya Daima campaign to promote peace in the country. Kenya belongs to all of us. Kenya belongs to all of us. When we are at peace with ourselves and our neighbors, we will reap the peace dividend of economic prosperity that translates to more jobs and opportunities for young people. We must never take for granted the benefits of peace. Let us guard against those who may seek to disrupt it before, during, and after elections. Finally, I call upon all Kenyans to remain vigilant and do all they can to ensure that peace and stability is maintained at all times. We, the leaders, must also be a good example worth emulating. We should be fully aware that elections produce winners and losers, but ultimately we must defend the peace, unity, and liberty of our nation. With these remarks, it is my pleasure to declare this forum officially open, and also, ladies and gentlemen, to wish you well. And let all say, when we say we wish everybody well, let us mean it. Let us mean that kind of word. Otherwise it's foul. And I'm quite sure that if we mean well towards each other, then there is no reason why we should not have peaceful elections. And I am quite sure, ordinary Kenyan who has lived together, I mean, it is now how many years since that time? 49. Nearly 50. And I'm quite sure the people who have lived together for that period of time, they no longer seek to go live anywhere else. No. Neither will they want it. No. So, in fact, the only thing which is left is that we don't need the characters who are preaching hatred and dislike of each one another, because it does not fit in anywhere. And when you meet any ordinary person and you discuss the matter with him, he is not agreeable to that kind of thing, because he knows fully well, even if he's not been to school, he knows fully well you are all meant to live together in this country. Even those who have not been to any school, there is no person who is expecting to live somewhere else. No, he'll be in this country. And he knows full well that you fellows are 2, 3, 4, 10 candidates, and that you are speaking for yourself, and that the 10 will still be running in this country. None of them is going to migrate or go anywhere. Of course not. And therefore, he is actually, when he leaves you and he hears how much you are talking, particularly when you are speaking in your own language, in your own local. I mean it. When you are speaking in your own language locally and telling that fellow the words which you don't want your neighbors in the next place to hear. In fact, he regularly tells his neighbor, nasema unajua yule huyu anasimama huko kwetu, kali ametuambia maneno huko ametuambia maneno huko, na anakuambia yale wamewaambia, na yeye hataki, he does not believe it, but he tells you what he was told, what he heard the other fellow speak there. So, ladies and gentlemen, avoid that kind of language, for the reason that actually you become very disgraceful kind of person. Because the person you are telling, believing this is fellow from my own home, and he may not tell the story to anybody else, it is not true. In fact, he finds it very interesting. Yes, he does. Because you are a big politician. And he says, oh, unajua hawa watu hawa. You know what wana believe nini? Kwa nini? Kwa nini? Kwa sababu huyu wa kwetu huyu aliniambia hii na hii na hii na hii. I'm telling you. And in any case you hear it. In any case I personally hear it. And we all hear it all the time. And we have been hearing it all these years. And that man, however much you preach that variety of stuff, he doesn't believe in it. He knows you only want to persuade him. So he takes you that way. And actually when he goes to vote, he votes for the fellow he believes. Not for you. Definitely he will not vote for you when you are preaching that kind of language, because he knows where you are going, it is not a safe place. It is not. It is not. And the poor person who has been around and he has listened to these preachings for 49 years and longer, because it was there before, then he is no longer person for you to preach. It is you who remains to move and get to a different category, different level. And I'm sure that is what we are in. This is what we are called upon. And you speak to your own people. When you go to your own home and you speak to an ordinary wazee, they tell you the truth. And I know it is true because I hear it from every corner. Wherever you go into these places, you are told the truth by the ordinary people. So let us stop preaching that language. Let's abandon that. Let's come back to talking about the things we want to implement in this society, what we want to build. And that is what is more beneficial, is more meaningful, is more respectable. Because when you speak that language, you can speak the language to everybody in Kenya. Because you want something which will be satisfactory to everybody in Kenya. But these other funny lugha in huko outside, and it's waste of time. And I'm telling you today, one of the things you can find most remarkable, if you listen to the gossip in your own neighborhood, where you have people whom you believe they're just speaking your own language, they will tell you it is not true, those things. If you do believe in those things, and it is not true. And in fact, education has done a lot of good things for us, and all these things for us. So let us, by all means, let us preach meaningful language. And I'm sure we will succeed. I'm quite sure we will succeed. I have no doubt whatever. But that is the peaceful world. At the moment, and these are my last words, please, I know we have been progressing. And I know we have made progress, very big progress. And I know the changes which we have brought, definitely, and what has been adopted. Even just to look at this, if you look at that kitab, and you look at that and you know what it is, what we are talking about, then you know we have not genuinely made the progress. And then when you hear somebody who is talking to you some other funny language, he is off, and you can forget it. Ladies and gentlemen, I really want to say, as far as I'm concerned, I've been around, and I've been a lot, and I've seen a lot, and I know the truth, and I know we will go for that truth. I know the general public of Kenya will go for that truth, even if we are 12 or 20 who are standing and trying to confuse him, he will still be the truthful. We will get the truth. We'll get where we want to go. So if you hear that I'm not campaigning for anything, you don't think that I don't believe anything. I know the kind of project we want in Kenya, and I know that it doesn't do anybody any good to preach a different thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased. I am very pleased with this particular meeting, and I hope when we do meet on Tuesday, etc., I hope we will actually agree to implement the genuine truth of what we all know we need in this country, so that, anyway, God bless.